In this next video here, we're going to learn how to read tablature and sheet music. We're going to just learn basics here. We're not going to learn everything about it, just how to be able to make it through the songs here that I'm teaching, specifically Amazing Grace in this particular lesson here. And what this whole thing right here that I have printed out, I made it large, is one measure. Okay, it's one measure of the song. And to look at the measures, we go to the next page, and this right here is the same thing as this. Just this one measure here. Okay, that's all we're looking at. And let me explain what the measure is and what's going on here. It's very easy. So the first thing that we have, as you can see, we're playing with our left hand a G chord, okay, a one-finger G chord. And there's a reason that we're not using a full G chord, a regular G chord here, and that'll be revealed to you why we're only using this chord in the videos that we're teaching the song, okay? So this is just learning how to read the tab in the sheet music. So we have the chord in the measure, and you'll see that in the measures here, the chord. Okay, so this is one measure right here, and this is another measure right here, and so on and so forth. These are all measures. So we're breaking down a measure here. So here's the chord, the G chord that we're playing, one finger G chord. These are the notes. Now, this is not important to know these notes. As a matter of fact, I got kicked out of piano lessons because I was cheating. I was playing by ear and not reading the notes. What would happen is the teacher would play the song that I was supposed to learn at the ending of the lesson, and I would remember it by ear and then come back next week and play it for her. And she could hear that I was altering notes and making up my own notes there, and she booted me out of her class. Anyway, and here I am trying to teach it. So anyway, we're not going to go over this. It's not that important, but you can learn it just by being able to understand the tab. Now, we have to be able to read the tablature. Okay, that's very important. And the tablature is really easy. So let's start with that first. We know that we're playing a G chord with our left hand. And with our right hand, what we're doing is we're playing these notes. Okay? We're picking these notes with our right hand. And just to explain it, let me grab my guitar. This is the guitar neck, okay? We're looking down this way. You know, from my perspective, we're looking at the guitar neck. So it would be, we're looking at it this way, okay? The guitar. And very simply, this right here is the 6th string, 5th string, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and the 1st string. Okay, 1st string, 6th string. We all know that, okay? So what this is instructing us to do is it's got the number 3 right here. Now, as you could see in this chord, it just so happens that that's our first note of this measure here. And it's 3 frets up, 1, 2, 3 frets up. Okay, 3 frets up, we're playing that note right here, okay, this G chord, this one-finger G chord, which I'm hoping you're familiar with already. So this is the tablature. It says 3 frets up, okay, and that's what the number 3 means. We go 3 frets up. That's what these numbers are. Now, can you guess what this is? Okay, it's pretty simple. It's the next note. We're reading from left to right. The next note that we need to play, that we're going to play in this pattern, is on the 4th string, and it says 0. So the 0 means we're not playing, we're not fretting a note. It's just an open note. It should be an O, I guess, for open. Okay, so 4th string, open note. The next one is the 3rd string, open note. I mean, how easy is this? The next one is the 2nd string, open note, then the 3rd string, open note, and then the 4th string, open note. Okay? So this is one measure. Now, what the tablature doesn't tell you is it doesn't tell you which fingers you're playing these notes with, because this could have been all just one finger, and that's not what we're doing here, okay? So I've created this right-hand flowchart for a G chord waltz pattern, okay? So this all right here corresponds to this tablature and these notes and this chord. So I say a G chord. And what we're doing is this first note right here is 3 frets up on the 6th string. That's the 6th string right here, strings we pluck. And you can see that these numbers here are the same strings as we're plucking here in the tablature. And this right here tells you which finger that you're using. So we're using the thumb for the first one. This one right here, this is thumb. This right here is thumb. This right here, the next one is the index. Middle finger, how easy is this? Index, right here, and thumb. So if I go ahead and do that, okay, and I'm looking, you could either look at the tab or the right-hand flowchart, because the right-hand flowchart also tells you what strings you're plucking. But I want you to get used to reading the tab. Okay, so we're going, and I'm just going to go ahead and play this. We're going thumb, and then on the 4th string, open, thumb, and I'm leaving my finger down here the whole time, okay? I'm leaving that chord down the entire measure. Thumb, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb. Now, I'm going to get into detail about how we play learning this pattern when it comes time for this, but this is just to understand how to read the tablature and the flowchart and the music notation. So I hope that makes sense. Now, this part that says counting, we're counting this like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay? Follow me with this. 1 and 2 and 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Over the G chord, the one-fingered G chord. Here's the notes. There's 3 downbeats on the metronome. So if I was to put on, here's a metronome right here. If I was to put on this metronome, let me show you what I'm talking about. One and 2 and 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Click, click, click. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, so let me go ahead and, with the metronome right here, let me go ahead and play these notes right here, okay? Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Thumb, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb. Thumb, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb. Okay, now this metronome is, I'm going to explain a little bit better about the metronome when we go to learn the song, but that was probably a little bit too fast to learn the pattern, so we are going to slow it down. So, sheet music. This is a little excerpt from the sheet music. So I hope this makes sense. It's really very self-explanatory. Let's just go ahead and look at this measure right here. that has the C chord in it. So I'm going to just expand this out, make this a little bit bigger. So this says we're playing the C chord, and we're starting with 3 frets up on the 5th string. So that's this. Okay? And then 2 frets up on the 4th string. Okay, and that's this. Open on the 3rd string. And then we're playing 1 fret up on the 2nd string. There's your C chord right there. That's the C. And then we're going back here. Open on the 3rd string. And then we're going 2 frets up on the 4th string. So that whole measure sounds like this. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. So that's a quick lesson on how to read the sheet music and the tablature. If you have any questions, you can always email me at acousticguitarvideos@gmail.com, and I will definitely try to help you with it. But this is pretty easy, I think, to understand this. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get into the strumming. And on this page right here, go ahead and you want to click on this and download all the sheet music because you're going to need the sheet music. We're going to work on getting some groove happening with a very simple strumming pattern first, okay? And you need to know your standard G, C, and D chords. For the finger picking, you don't need to know the standard chords, okay? But I want you to still try to do the strumming anyway, because strumming and finger picking, they kind of go together. I'm going to show you a cool pattern. All right, I will see you in the next video. I hope this helps.